If you are anything like me and just can't get a damn song out of your head, then you got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of a state, nation, and world that we live in. And I know this is not my political show, but I do have a political show. So I have this song from the election in my head every time not every time, sometimes it catches me when I'm working with Boone or Ozzy. And it is they're eating the dogs, eating the cats, eating the dogs, eating the cats. It drives me nuts. Okay, let's get you to a Boone date, shall we? An update, a pup date. Pup date is probably better. Boone date sounds weird. The show is recorded, so just play along. It's all good. But let's get you to a pup date here. Yesterday, I was all over Facebook Marketplace, and I said, okay, I want that crate. That is the dog crate that I want, because as you know, Boone tore the hell out of the first crate. By tore the hell out of it, I mean, he just pulled the door right in. I mean, I don't know. Dude doesn't have thumbs. Maybe he does. Anyway, so I needed something to look like, okay, it can be in my house and not be an eyesore, and it needs to kind of be a cell block. And we locked this boy up. And so I found one on Facebook Marketplace, and the guy did actually get back to me. I just didn't know how to check Facebook Marketplace messages. So the guy got back to me before the show even, and here I am talking crap saying, oh, these people on Facebook Marketplace never get back to you. He did. And I said, here's the price I want to pay. He said, that's good. Can you get here this afternoon? Done. On my way. He was out in Surprise. I'm a West Valley guy. Easy breezy. By the way, Surprise. What the hell is up with no like QT, Circle K? What is happening? Like I went out there because it was a certain price. So, but you know, the ATM doesn't dish that kind of denomination. So I was gonna stop by and grab some beef jerky or whatever and get some change from a QT or a Circle K. I get off the freeway, nothing. Next intersection, nothing. Next intersection, nothing. Next intersection, there's a Burger King. Next intersection, there's a water and ice place. I'm running all over. Can't even get to a spot where I can break change. Anyway, so I get there to get this kennel for my beautiful dog. Beautiful kennel, beautiful dog. The man comes out, beautiful man, beautiful wife, beautiful home. Everything is wonderful. So he starts rolling the kennel out. It's on wheels, which is weird. I don't know why any kind of kennels are on wheels, but if you look them up, they're all on wheels. And he brings it out, and I'm like, chatting it up with him. We're talking about his dog, my dog, and Boone's in the truck just kind of staring out the window, and he's, oh, it's a beautiful dog, and of course he is. And so this starts the process down the driveway of rolling it together, kind of. We're just kind of doing it together. And it hits one of those spots, in cement, don't want to know what it's called, but it just, where wheels get stuck. And the damn top comes off. I'm not kidding, guys. The top came off. I was like, oh, I did that. And so I'm trying to be cool. I'm like, uh-oh. And knowing that I just ran out to the other side of town, and I was like, okay, what do we do about this? He goes, He goes, there was some screws that were kind of next to where the kennel was. Maybe my dog was like planning his escape. And I was like, huh? The top was not, and by the way, this was after he told me that when he put it together backwards. So the tray that pulls out backwards. And I'm like, at that point, I was thinking, I'm going to take this thing apart anyway and put it back together properly. So, okay, whatever, because I am who I am. When you sell a redneck something, it's totally okay. We'll fix it. there's zip ties, Bondo, JB Weld. We got it all. And so he goes back in the house, and he comes out with this set of bolts. He said, here you go. I'm like, okay. Rock on, dude. Let's put a few of these in so at least you can travel home, as we did. And that's what I did. I went right to the big box store that I can't say online, apparently. Yeah, so it rhymes with Lowe's. So I went to the place that rhymes with Lowe's. And I got the right size bolts. I got everything ready to put this thing back together, and I got just a big giant tube of JB Weld. that thing ain't coming apart. You could put the jumping jack trailer together with JB Weld. I'm telling you, that is it. If you don't know what JB Weld is, there's JB Weld for damn near everything. That and Gorilla Weld and Gorilla, the Gorilla branded stuff, fantastic. They work well, in my opinion. They do. So that is Boone's new home. It's going to be interesting. I haven't tried it out yet. Intern Nuge is coming here today. So Boone has a reprieve from being locked up because Nuge has a back issue that he's going to be at home. When I leave, I can just leave the dog with him. So that's where we are on the pup date there. One of the things you guys are going to see that I'm posting on social media, I watched a documentary on a group of guys that decided, very well sponsored guys, that decided to go reblaze a trail for overlanding. So I'm going to get to overlanding in a second. But these guys found an old trail that nobody can drive their trucks on, drive their cars. And they said, you know what? This is so beautiful. It's in Alaska. And this is so beautiful. We are going to figure out how we can make this a trail again. And they did. Chainsaws, just clearing things out, and deadfall and this and that, and trees that will possibly be deadfall, they're gone, they're the other way, this and that. And people can now, in this Alaska trail, they can just zip up and have a good time and just really do an amazing adventure. But I had heard of overlanding from Jason Costello, my buddy that owns Canyon Coolers. And he said, I kind of really like this overlanding stuff. And I was like, okay, all right. It seems kind of cool, I guess. I mean, whatever. And it seemed kind of cool because it was like rough it camping. And I was like, you know me, y'all. I don't like rough it camping at all. So I was like, okay, this is interesting, cool, good for you, Jason. You like that? You like the river rafting? You like all that stuff? If I'm river rafting, it's with a guide. You are that guide, and enjoy that. And I never really thought two things of it until I saw the documentary title, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to check this out because I trust Jason. I like Jason. He's a good dude, and the guy wouldn't steer me wrong. If he's into something, it's probably 95% chance that I would totally dig it. So what got me into this was the preview. I don't know if you know on like Netflix when you like you click over to something, it gives you that little preview, like you get the trailer. And I was like, this stuff that these guys are packing into these trucks would make Bruce Wayne blush. This is not overlanding. Just stop it. Stop calling it over. You made up a name. Overland. You made up this name so you could buy insane amounts of cool, top of the line, badass camping gear and go on a camping trip. That's what this is. It's a camping trip on wheels. That's what overlanding is. I'm going to say it right now. Overland with the coolest gear ever. And you guys know me. I'm all about gear. Gear is it. I love gear. Gear is life. So that's why I'm okay. I'm going to watch this thing because I want to see what happens here. And the cool thing is, for me, especially if it's in the middle of the day, that's show research. Good with that. So watching this thing and just all of the cool gear they have, I'm like, I want to do this. But then I thought of a very important outdoor sport story that I have for you. And it was a while ago. It was probably 20 years ago. 19-ish years ago. I had some friends in my circle, and they're still in my circle, that have ungodly amounts of money. Just they do. They've got multiple homes. They've got multiple planes. They're part of my world. And I love having them. One, maybe two are left, and it's just they're people that would give you the shirt off their back. They'll drive me nuts, but they give you the shirt off their back. One of them said, hey, you should come to another one. I used to call this the Billionaire Boys Club. They're not billionaires, but it was, you remember the old movie Millionaire Boys Club? I think it was one of the Estevez or Sheen. I don't know. It was one of those crew was in it. It's a fantastic movie. Well, I don't know if it holds up, but it was a made for TV movie about guys making a bunch of money. So I dubbed the crew that, our investors for real estate and all. I called them the Billionaire Boys Club. So I've got 2, maybe 1.5 left that I'm in touch with. One of those, so both of those human beings, one said to the other, you've got to come out and go to Glamis with me. So if you do not understand what Glamis is sand dune, buggy, ATV driving, sand dunes, Glamis. He said, you got to come out and try it out. You got to get involved with this. This is one of the most redneck with money activities you can possibly have. I'm not kidding. Glamis, I don't even know if they call it sand duning, whatever they call it, sand buggy. I don't know what they call it. It is the most redneck, one of the most redneck with money activities ever. So the one that was encouraging the other to come into the fold, he said, before you spend $350,000. So my ears, you do, wait, you what? Why don't you come out with us and see if you like it? He said, because that's where I went wrong. He goes, thank God I liked it. But I bought the RV, I bought the sand rail, and a trip cost about, $10,000 to go out with all the stuff that we take. So you're looking into about a $300,000 investment. Why don't you come out with us first? Smart idea. I didn't go. My other friend did, who was trying to be lured in. They were luring him in. I think it was, and I'm probably botching the story, not even a full day in, of sand duning. That's what I'm going to call it. They launched the sand rail off of a big sand dune. It's basically the sand dunes are giant ramps, is what they are. Launches the thing off. They come down a little over what they intended to, landed flat. Okay, so you're 30, 40 feet in the air, and you come down and land flat. No matter what kind of suspension system you have, your body's taking the rest of that. My buddy, who was being encouraged to do this, give it a try, his spine went and shattered one of his vertebrae. Which introduced him to another friend of mine, which is kind of funny, that his business is, he owns a helicopter. And I know it sounds bougie, right? He owns a helicopter. No. His job is flying to the sand dunes, landing wherever he can, and air evacuating people to Scripps Hospital in San Diego. That's his job. And the money is good. I'll never get in a helicopter in my life unless I have to, like this guy did. So anyway, my buddy goes out there, air evacs him to Scripps in San Diego. And the only thing that I can think is positive about this is that he hated country music as much as I did. And then he was on some serious morphine and drugs, and the basically the music that was playing around him was country music. He's the biggest country music fan you'll ever know. And I've become the same. So I guess that's a positive note there. But the reason why I tell you the story goes back to Overland. Do it first. No, seriously, do it first. And I mean, really do it. And then see if you want to, because the Glamis thing is a $300,000 investment. I'm guessing that the Overland investment is probably around $100,000 if you don't already have the SUV. So if you have a truck or an SUV and you want to convert it to overlanding, okay, you're already there. So I think probably another 25-ish, $30,000 puts you in the level of the documentary that I saw, which was all sponsored by Toyota, and there was a lot of sponsors. Max Trax, there was, of course, Max Trax was. They said Max Trax, I think, at least 6 times in the documentary. So I'm sure Max Trax put in a little bit of cash for the trip. But you're going to. Max Tracks are, you might have seen them on the side of a lot of Jeep trucks that have never been off-road, but they put those cool racks on the back of the Jeep trucks, and then they have those bright orange looking things. Just they almost look like something you could, they look like stretchers. Those are for putting under your tires when you get stuck. getting out. They're called max tracks. With all of that, I would say just the gear alone, 30 to 35 grand. The truck, obviously, another 50, 60 grand. So you're 100 grand getting into overland. Go with a friend. It reminds me of, hey, Mike, what's the best kind of hunting dog? Hey, Mike, what's the best bass boat? Someone else's hunting dog in someone else's boat. The best ever. Period. I don't care. I don't care if it's a John boat with a trolling motor. It's better than what you're dealing with. You don't have to deal with it. They do. Hunting dogs, you don't have to deal with them unless you're hunting that day. Every other day, the 364 days outside of that, the owner gets to deal with it. Yeah. Overland. Which brings me to the event that happened when Queen Bee and the kids and I were camping a couple weeks ago. And we had, even though we have the jumping jack, we have the inflatable tent. I do inflatable. Every time I say inflatable tent, I do this, like I'm pumping something. No, I'm not doing this. Brendan, Grizz, thank you very much. We have it all, and our entire campsite was totally dialed in. Everything was amazing. These people pull up next to us in the campsite next to us, and they have an over the top camper. So basically, it is this plastic case that pops up, and you got a 2-3 person tent on top of your truck with a ladder coming down. Fantastic. We're watching them do this. By we, I mean me and Queen Bee. We're watching them do this. Our chairs, our campfire chairs are facing them. And it was almost like in the middle of the night, this ray of sunlight. And we were drooling. Just, that's so awesome. Oh, yeah, we need one of those. I don't want to put one over the truck, but I mean, we can get something we're working this out. We are watching them. And they pull out these folding chairs that look like futons. And I'm like, these guys got it going on. Fast forward to the next morning. Everybody leaves. The kids, Queen Bee, everybody. And I'm sitting here. They go, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Getting ready for the day, whatever. And so I'm sitting alone in camp with the 2 dogs. And I have like 4 things of donuts, bagels, because I go over the top on this kind of thing. And so the couple that has the over the camp, I don't even know what you call it, the above truck tent, yeah. They are just kind of doing their stuff, laying stuff out, and I said, hey, you guys, I got a bunch of donuts and stuff over here. Would you guys like breakfast? And the dude was like, yes. Oh my God, yes. But I still can't tell you the girl's name because she just stayed back. I was like, okay, you're not very social. Do you. And so he comes out, he grabs a couple donuts, and we're chatting it up and having a good time. And I said, hey, listen, I got to tell you. And I think this is fair as a man, right? I think it's fair as a man. You can tell another man, I'm having gear envy, dude. I have a lot. I'm like seriously gear crushing on you right now. And he goes, yeah, God, we love that thing. We think it's so convenient. There's just one problem. He said, you noticed that we were laying all our stuff out over our chairs and over the table over there near the campfire. He's like, every morning we wake up, the entire inside of that thing is soaked. Nope, I'm good. No, don't want to deal with any of that. No. And then I watched this documentary on overlanding. That's what they had. So I'm thinking there has to be some kind of trick. There has to be some kind of process that you can do to not have your everything soaking wet in your over the what are we going to call this, guys? Yeah, your truck camper, your truck tent. There you go, truck tent. Have everything not soaked in your trunk tent when you wake up. It has to be there has to be a way. If you think about those little packets that say you will die if you eat those, that are in most packaging and stuff like that to keep things dry, there has to be something that can keep things dry in these kind of conditions. Because the guys that are watching the overland thing, they were in Alaska. I mean, that is not exactly a dry climate. Arid climate? I don't know. I just work here. Anyway, one of the very best things you can do right now, if you are an outdoorsman or woman, and I'm being sincere when I say this, is start to peel your eyes a little bit. Start to really, really look. Start to dial in on that cold weather gear and outdoor gear that you wanted. And you're like, dog, that's expensive. I don't know if that's in the budget. I don't think I should do that. Now is the time, because your spring cleaning, the big box stores, the online retailers are spring cleaning all of their winter gear, and they're discounting it just to get it out the door. And when a retailer discounts their stuff to get, when it hits clearance, that's what they paid for it. They're not losing any money. With this clearance, they're not losing a dime. It might be a couple bucks more than what they paid for it just to make themselves feel better. But right now, that's going on. And you can get stuff for cold weather camping, all that stuff, buddy heaters, everything is discounted right now. This is the time. I know today it's going to be like 62 degrees. It's like the couple last the death throes of winter and fall for Arizona. The death struggle has begun. So we'll have a couple days that are low temps, but that doesn't change the store. Stores need to get their warm weather gear in. All of their fishing seasonal stuff needs to come in. All of that. They need to make room for that. So they get rid of the other stuff. And I mean, they get rid of it quick. Again, they're not losing money, but neither are you. You're getting a better deal that had you not listened to Uncle Mike and kind of 180 your purchasing clock, then you're going to be paying full retail. But if you did listen to Uncle Mike, you are going to be buying cold weather gear when it starts to warm up, and you're going to buy warm weather gear when it starts to cool down. And your whole, I'm telling you, I understand what we do in some cases is very expensive. In our outdoor world, was paddle boarding, this and that. The upfront cost is expensive. The cost after that is very low, right? Because if you think about it, like I would say that hunting, bird hunting, which I do a lot, is less expensive than golfing. Because I paid as amount for my shotguns and as amount for my dogs. And outside now, I just need to buy ammo. It's like buying golf balls. I got to buy ammo. That's it. But with golf balls, you have to pay $200 a round. $150 a round. You keep paying that over and over again. You don't have that in hunting. I mean, I understand ammo gets expensive. It just does. Ammo is expensive. Oh, I remember the good old days. You just go to Walmart and you get like you get 100 rounds, a 100-round pack of 12 gauge or 20. You get it for like, I think it was like $18. Now it's like $32. It's ridiculous. Still, hunting and outdoor activity is cheaper than golf. But golf is still an outdoor activity. I never will knock somebody for doing that. Oh my gosh, we have to talk about that. We'll talk about it maybe tomorrow. There is a golf event coming up with someone who are very, very near and dear to my heart. That is Barbecue Mission. Barbecue Mission is doing their very first. They're trying this out. They're trying to raise funds, this and that. They're amazing. Barbecue Mission is twice a week out in the West Valley. They get out the big pit smokers and they get all this really cool stuff going on, and they feed the homeless. And they don't want a dime. Some cool people. So I will tell you about that tomorrow. We'll talk about the Barbecue Mission thing tomorrow, because I think that is a worthwhile cause. And I am looking all over right now for a pen to write that down. Look what I have. Here's a fun fact about Rob and I. For those of you who don't know, Rob Hunter was my co-host, and he's still my little brother. I love the guy. If you were to buy him a Mont Blanc pen, the very expensive pens, he'd be, that's nice. The cheap Bic pens, the blue Bic pens, the ones you're thinking about right now, that's all he writes with. Me, I have a little bit of an upgrade. I have a same Bic pen, but it's just a little bit of an upgrade. I like the little cushy thing on the paper. That's all we write with. Like I have in this desk 2 boxes of this pen. I won't write with anything else. Kind of weird, right? Hey, give me a $200 pen. I'm not going to write with it. I'm going to write with this thing. Anyway, I'm going to write down BBQ mission. Let's say BBQ mission, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. The arrow. So if on my notes, if I write barbecue mission with an arrow going to the right, that means that we're talking about that tomorrow, or I'm doing that tomorrow on a to-do list. That is that. Those are the ABCs of me. Damn it! Buy your winter gear now. You're going to save some money. Above truck tents we need to look into. Overlanding is, let's just, take a second on the house. There you go. This is the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the state, nation, and world that we live in. We will see you